Hello. Okay. Right, that just the fan. I think my chair is sinking. Yeah, it is. Right, so yesterday, tried to get an XTG Surface, but with no luck, cause the socket was getting disconnected. And last night before bed, I was just looking up what possible mistakes I could be doing, and I think I found a few. I found that I am not find IDs to something, because there is a bind call, because you need to register your IDs with Wayland server, which I don't think I'm doing. But yeah, I gotta do that, and hopefully be able to have a window. But first, my coffee is still hot. What's this? The protocol. Oh, actually, I can look up bind. Registry. Bind. Here. Bind an object to the display. Binds a new client created object to the server using the specified name as the identifier. Okay, so every time, for instance, like I have a surface ID here, it's not bound to the server. So I gotta do that. Unique numeric name of the object. Not sure what that is. What is a global event? Global object with the given name is now available and implements the given version of the given interface. This certain Wayland book. Is that a bind? Binding to globals. Upon creating a registry object, the server will emit the global event for each global available on the server. You can then bind to the globals you require. Ah, right, okay. Binding is the process of taking a known object and assigning it an ID. Once the client binds to the registry, like this, the server emits the global event several times to advertise which interfaces it supports. Okay, maybe there's more than one thing I need to change. Don't need that here, Because right now, I think I only handle one event. So I guess I could grab this wheel. Create surface. Yeah, I think this can be here. I would let the server control it, but for now, I just run it forever. Yeah, we'll comment this out for now, because not correct. I can move these out. Get registry, because it only needs to be called once. The server even says to keep it to a minimum. What do I do with this? Oh, it can be a const for now. Hey, Jack Skelly. I realized I was making a couple of mistakes last night as I was looking up somebody else's implementation. Because, for example, I never bound to any of the objects or listen to like globals. Global binding to globals. Right, okay. Yeah, and yeah, I mean that could be. I don't know, I haven't done it yet. Gotta look up bind. Registry, bind. ID and the new ID. The question I have is, I'm guessing the name of the object that we want to create. So for instance, when I call create surface, it doesn't return a name. Because I think it's at for instance get registry. Does it return a name? It does. Yeah. There's a lot of missing information. Like they never mention how they get the opcodes, for instance. Like I only know it because I saw someone else go through the same problem. Registry bind, get registry. did get a name somewhere. One of the response name. Registry, but global. Okay. Interface string version unit. So does that mean you have to get the name from there? Say build. Oh fuck. It's gonna parse the same object. Well, I could just stop. Okay, because I think I gotta use this name. Starts somewhere here. Yeah. So for instance, if I want to create a surface, what's this doing? Am I pressing the wrong button? There's no create surface. Oh, because I think it's the interface. So we need compositor. There's no such. Not entirely sure about this yet. What is name one? Also, you only need like the parent interface name. Oh, so okay, so you don't need to bind the ID for surface? How does that work? Oh, okay, because the name is the name of the interface, which is compositor, just one. Okay, got it. Not sure this needs to be created. Let's make this buff equals undefined. There is the global thing as well. Announce global object. Notify the client of global objects. The event notifies the client that a global object with a given name is now available. I do need that. Where it is registry. Get registry, handle registry events. So once I get notified, that means now I can bind. I'm still confused. Let me read this once again. On creating a registry object, server will emit the global event for each global available on the server. You can then bind to the globals you require. Right, okay. So I think it'd be better to do it. Remove this from and that registry event. Easier than I think passing callback. I don't like callbacks. Don't need this. And I can just continue here. But they seem to be both. Pass global, blah, blah, blah. What is up 0? Registry. Up 0 is bind. Was 1 again? 1's global. Why did I even do this? Can't remember now. registry bind, because I think the object is the same. Oh, bind is a request, so this shouldn't. It's only one event, I think. Opcode 0 as event is global, as method is bind. Zero as event is global, as method is bind. But I think I haven't called method bind. I think I'm parsing the event wrong. I mean, I also did this like 3 days ago. How can I forget? So this is the response. Let's call this an event. Yeah, I think that makes more sense. No, that's not the event. Alright, I think I need to go through this again. Gecko. What am I looking for? Oh yeah. VI, what was it? User, I don't remember. User share wayland. Interface. Right, okay. I think the display event works. Okay, I only handle errors for display event. But do I even call? Sync and get registry. Right, there's no display events, is there? Think okay, there's only error. There's only error. That's the only event on display. Okay, got that bit. So I can just make this unreachable. Okay, that's sorted. Now let's look at registry. Global registry object. So now if this is quite disorganized. Right, so this is registry events. Op0 is bind. So I'm switching on the wrong thing here. I think I should switch on the event something. Create service with first event. Oh no, this is much easier to check. In the header, I think, does it say? Because this will always be 0. Oh no, Will it? Where's my read? Yeah, I think I need to move this out as well. Should return. Yeah, I think I only need to send it. I can do the read here. Response len. And I guess if that is response len is equal to 0, return error socket. Wayland server disk. Should be response len. Okay. That means you know what, just make this, define this here. DTT. So that means I don't need to pass buffer. Get registry socket new ID. Go to response. Response len. Okay, see what does it run? POSIX read. Yep, does require. What am I pressing? Okay, so where's the rest of the interface? Why does it stop reading? Oh, there's a return here. Don't need this. Don't need that. Okay. Now that works. So now I need to bind. What's the first thing I need to bind? What do I do with this global object? And I think this is wrong because they're passing the same. I think this should be here. Then I need to switch registry event. I get the name. Okay. What is the registry event? Get registry, double registry, name and ID. Unique name, unique numeric name of the object. And I think I need the compositor. I can switch the name and then call create service. Registry.name. Oh no, it needs to be parsed. Why does it return null? Can it be null? Oh yes, it can be. Does switch work with... That's fine, just... Zig, break, switch. Not sure if name is a consistent value. Really? So you mean like these can change? Like one will not always be a compositor. Oh, so that means I would have to switch the interface. I think which would make more sense. Let me just check maybe in the book. Interface request events. Protocol design patterns. Protocol that we should briefly cover here. The patterns are found throughout the high level. Patterns atomicity, stated goal of Wayland is every frame is perfect to this end. Then transactionally, resource lifetimes, versioning. Maybe here. Global. The event notifies the client that a global object with a given name is now available. And it implements the given version of the given interface. Alright, we can go with interface name, but I'm not sure if we can switch. Can I just assume this will always be... No. Right, okay. Guess they should still run. Can I do this? WL compositor. Yeah, cannot switch on strings. So if we can't switch on the interface. What does it say? I'm not sure if the name is consistent value. Event notifies the client that a global object with the given name is now available. Oh, I know. I can check Wayland client from scratch. The sub blog post. Saved it. Display, creating a registry. Send the first message. Oh, how did you get to the frame buffer? Wayland display get registry. Send, and where do you read? Read and U32, U16. Wayland handle message. What is date? Read bytes is, yep. Read buffer. handle message right here. Object ID, opcode, announce size, opcode. Do you always get, oh yeah, in the header. Yeah, okay. Header size. Binding interfaces. This is what I want to know. Object ID is state.wl registry. Okay, and opcode is registry event global. Opcode is 1. So I guess it has to be the object registry. Dot header dot opcode. Then I don't get why is the opcode 0? I think it's this statement that's printed. Yeah, because nothing gets printed otherwise. What if I move this here? Ah, right. Okay. That's why I think initially. Okay, yeah, no, you're right. Because the event is an event opcode. So global is the first event. Right. Let me make a note of that. Note. This is the event opcode. Not the interface. Request, sorry. Yep, that makes sense. Okay, because you send 0 because that's the first request. Okay. Hey, cheers, Jack. I totally forgot about that. I think this. Yeah, just leave it there. Unreachable for now. So now I guess I can create the first ID. Get registry. Is there anything else? No. Got the registry. I guess now I can create surface. Create surface and then bind, or bind and create surface? I guess create surface and then bind. Bind first. Interesting. Okay, so I can do that. If global g dot interface wl compositor I think I gotta do standard mem dot equal. You need to provide the interface ID. I think it's the interface name, right? Not the ID. In order to create surface, and to get it, you need to bind. No, because create surface only takes new ID. I think it should be the other way around, no? Because what does bind do again? Binds a new client created object to the server using the specified name as the identifier. So this is the new ID. Bounded object. Keep in mind that new ID without defined interface has custom serialization rules. (32-bit object ID). Generally, the interface used for the new object is inferred from the XML, but in the case where it's not specified, the interface used for the new object is inferred from the XML, but in the case where it's not specified, new ID is preceded by a string specifying the interface name and a uint specifying the version. But I do know new ID interface is a number of an already created object. New ID is an object. Geez, I get more confused the more I read. New ID is a 32-bit object ID. Right, okay. Yeah, I have seen that. So let me see, create surface. Oh, okay, I see what you mean. Oh, here. Okay, now I see. I see what you mean. It's starting to make a little bit sense. Not too bad. So I can create a new ID, bind it to the compositor. So I guess if I understand this correctly, I can bind interface for the new object is inferred from the XML. Inferred by the server. Let me print. WL Compositor version 5. Excuse me. But I guess I need to provide the name anyways, because bind takes a name. And actually another thing that I don't understand is if let's say I bind the name and a new ID. Okay, so I need to keep track of if it's for a surface or a region. Because I think create region also takes a new ID. Whoa, but it says I don't know, every time I think I understand a little bit, it just gets more confusing. Is that a WL surface here? No. Is that a WL region? No. Okay, I need to check what this guy did again. Registry bind opcode. Yep. Binding interfaces. We have sent one message to the compositor, get registry. Compositor responds with a series of events listing the available global objects, such as shared memory, support extension, etc. Each event contains the interface name, which is a string. Now in the wayland protocol, the string length gets padded to a multiple of 4. Yep, okay. Actually, this was bothering me last night when I was thinking about it. Round to padding. I'll leave that. I still don't know what the name is. So we have already done. If you see a global object that we are interested in, we create one of this type. If you see a global object that we are interested in, and record the new ID in our state structure for later use. What do you mean new ID? That's the bit that I don't get. Handle message. Of code equals global event. What do you do with while we're at it, we also handle error events. The composer does not like a message, it like will complain with some useful error messages in there. Since the wayland protocol is kind of RPC, we need to create the objects first before calling remote methods on them. Can be supported by the compositor. A good idea to bail if the interfaces we require are not present. WL surface, XDG surface, XDG top level. If object ID, what is the object? Okay, yeah. And WL registry, so okay, you just check the ID. And opcode is wayland WL registry event global. Oh yeah, the event opcode, right? You get the name, the interface len, length includes the null terminator. Okay, yeah, I did notice. And you just read it into the buffer, I guess. What is message? All right, the actual message. And you get version, right? And you print name interface version. This is what we've done. WL SHM interface. That's here. Where's all compositor? Your rounded function is in standard mem aligned forward, I think. Yeah, let's look at something else because this for sure doesn't make sense. Standard mem align forward. Type C address alignment. 1 1 equals 1, 2 1 equals 2. How does this work? So I provide U32. Round up an address up to the next aligned address. So it will be U32. Well, I mean, this is fine. This works. I found this on Stack Overflow. I'm kind of not sure how it works. Why does it have two numbers? All right, I think I passed it slice of constituent. And then this, what is the first number? Address. And alignment will be U32. Okay, I get it. So it's the same as standard mem dot line forward. I think, let's say it would be buff. And alignment is you size of 32. It's not bad. Okay. All right, now to get back to the work at hand. WL compositor. Oh, he calls bind on everything. Oh, that makes sense. Okay, I just want to see one example. I think that make more sense. Okay, so you just compare directly with the interface name. So I think, Jack, you're right. The name might not be reliable. Because I mean that would have been easier. And then WL compositor is wayland WL registry bind. That's the socket. WL registry name interface. That's the head. Where is this even coming from? Bind. No, I mean, I get. This is, I'm guessing, the header. These two things. Name, interface len. Is that because in the book, not in the book, sorry. Because the arguments here are name and new ID. But this guy is passing name, interface len, and version. Does all of these make up the new ID? Where was that? Right, okay. That's what I was reading here. New ID, a 32-bit object ID. Okay, now it sort of makes sense. In the case where the new ID preceded by a string specified by specifying the interface name and the UN specifying the version. Right, because if the interface name is a string and strings start with 32-bit. Okay. Jeez. It's quite cryptic, but okay, now that makes sense. So the whole ID thing. So I've been using the wrong ID. Well, I can change that a little bit. ID. Yeah. Can this be a no. I think this will return an ID object. Say ID. An ID will have interface len u32 interface const u8 and then version, which is also u32. I think all you need is the interface const u8. Don't need that. Return n is equal to interface dot len. As far as I know, it is only used in bind. Other is just a number. Okay. But how does it know which number is which? Okay, so the number that I pass is okay. So the interface is the interface, and then I guess version is version. You need version. It's U32. And I can also pass have a new ID, which is U32. F2 equals 2. Okay, in that case, I would need self. It just became more complicated. Const bind ID equal to struct. I can return bind ID. And I can increment the ID. New ID plus equals 1. Maybe not a good idea. It's bind ID. Function new ID. Turns a U32. Return is get new ID. You don't include new ID in the struct. Well, no, what I was thinking is because these will be called in different places. Because you need the bind ID when you get the event response. And once it's bound, oh, actually, and that's a good point. It is much easier. New ID. Oh no, what's your question again? You don't include new ID in the struct. No, because what's it called? It would be the insight is based on what the current interface is. Well, I suppose it could be. It just makes it nicer, I think. I don't think it makes a difference. Defer new ID plus equals 1. Self. I think, what am I doing? Okay. Do I ever need to call new ID without bind? I think except get registry. Okay, I just made it unnecessarily complex. It and then underscore equals ID dot new bind ID. Undefined. Can I do that? ID dot new ID. I can fix that. Cast. It doesn't fit in the destination type. Okay. How can I fix that? Is it because of that or because usize is I think it might be because version, let's say it's 0 for now. Okay. Why is ID 3? Invalid new ID 3. Let's make it. What was the right ID? It's 2. Actually, I could have left it as 2. Save myself some trouble. This, go back here. I don't need that. I will modify it later. Okay, I can just do it now. This should work. Alright, so this works. Okay, so I can make this variable. Now I can bind. Standard. Okay. If forgot how you Zig compare string. I think mem equal strings. Mem dot equal. Standard mem dot equal. I think it's for slices. A B constate. Okay. U8. What is a WL compositor? G dot interface WL compositor. If it is, bind. So I need a bind. Get registry. Let's copy this out. Bind socket. New ID will be let's take ID. No, bind ID. Request. Does that mean this needs to be packed? Ooh, I don't know if that's possible. Is that legal? We'll find out. New ID is ID dot bind ID. Maybe it doesn't need to be packed because the outside struct is packed. Is that another example? No, I don't send objects. We'll find out. Header is object display. Opcode is header. Let's type header. Bind ID, header, don't need that. Header. New ID is new ID. Okay. That sort of looks correct. Bind requires o dot header and I do need the ID for later. What am I trying to bind? Create surface. Surface bind ID. Interface and version precede the new ID that you provide. Really? Yep. Interface used for the new object. Okay, so a new ID is preceded by interface name and version. Okay. Thanks. Service bind. Actually, you know what? Think. What is it? Bind ID. I somehow need. Let's call it current ID. And we'll call this new ID U32. We can return that dot new ID equals ID plus equals 1. Const. What is the ID that I'm passing here used for? How come don't need the bind ID for this? Oh, because I'm no binding, I'm just getting the interfaces. No, is that? Hang on. Generally, interface used for the new object is inferred from the XML. So I'm guessing that's why it only works with 2. I don't even know why it works with 2, to be honest. Alright, we'll figure that out later. Not exactly sure how this new ID works for get registry. Okay, so ID is new ID. Just call it registry Bind ID is what did I call it? Bind ID takes version 0. Doesn't need it. id.new ID. Okay. I think this should still work, and I can get const no variable surface. What about the compositor ID? My guess is bind is generic, so you need an object. The other always know the interface to use, so simple number is fine. Yeah, I think that was my guess too, because I think when you call get registry, it can interface. Sorry, it can infer the interface name, version, etc. from the XML because it's defined on the server or defined in the protocol. I guess that's my guess, and I guess bind is more generic. That's what you said. Okay. So there's I only need new ID for surface. Var surface ID is null. Yeah, let's just call it bind ID. It's not confusing at all. Equal to null. So I can check this later. Surface bind ID bucket. Surface ID will be equal to id dot new bind ID a dot interface a g dot version. I think this is a g. Version is U32. Okay, and then I can use surface ID. And I think you mentioned so it's new ID preceded by. So new ID comes later. So new ID is the last. Is it after version as well? Preceded by a string specifying the interface name and a uint specifying the version. Okay. What's the problem here? Oh, but my question is, no, it shouldn't. It's not a pointer, it's just a value. Okay, no, that's fine. Okay, and bind. And I guess bind would return something. There are no errors in bind, which is weird. Okay. Should be registry find id dot new id. Should be E2. Okay. Note new ID for registry can be inferred by the server on from the protocol. Okay. Do I use surface ID? No. No, I do. So I can now, I guess I could check. Yeah. If surface ID standard debug print surface ID. I can just print something. Stored interface. Expected type that, got that. Thing ID. It's a variable. Expected 3 arguments found too. Oh, I forgot to pass the socket. Yeah. Isn't that what the type is? Oh, it's nullable. Fact structs. Where is that problem? 252. Actually, this is fine. Find ID. Oh, what if I just pack it? Might cause other problems though. Yeah. Okay, so I think that's fine. Let's go back. So bind request. I just grab these. And then this would be new ID. Call this bind ID. New ID. Then, but I'm not sure if it's called. Oh, it doesn't matter. I don't know why I'm worried about the name. Mine is bind ID dot len and dot interface is equal to id dot interface dot version equal to find id dot version. Okay, what about that? In fact, does it still contain? So how are you supposed to Zig fact? Enema based on teachers differently. All pack structs have backing integer, which implicitly determined by the total bit counter fields or explicitly specified. Pack structs have well-defined memory layout, exactly the same as the ABI. Same ABI as the backing integer. Logical sequence bits arranged from least to most significant. Allowed bit types are integer bool, enum, packed union, packed struct. Okay, so it can only be known types. This means known size types. This means that packed struct can participate in bit cast, pointer cast. It even works at comp time. I think there's an alternative. What is the other one? Extern struct. Matching C ABI. Well-defined in-memory layout is not required. Okay. So I guess I can, I should make these. I mean, that can be packed because it doesn't have a slice. It's slice of const. Can it not have that either? Slices have no guaranteed in-memory representation. How does he send it? Why does he send the name? Oh, you need to send the name. But it still doesn't solve the original problem. I guess you need name u32. But name equals name. G dot name. And this can be 0. So there should be one error. Maybe I can write it directly. I find not sure. Let me check. Name interface len version. Find. Oh yeah, I guess you could just write it straight to a buffer. Slices have no guaranteed in-memory representation. Zig packed struct slices. Okay. What if I just unpack it? Would it still work? No field named version 265. No field named new ID. 266. Ah. Dot name equals name. Find ID dot name. I don't think it worked. Or maybe it did. Oh no, it didn't, because I would have printed the surface. There's no error either. me just check if this is still within. Yep. The debug, the print. Cheater interface. Interesting. Okay, that's not bad. Why is that different? Isn't it the same thing? D interface WL compositor. Dot len. Dot len. After. Interface. Is that right? I might. How do you get line of a slice? Yeah. Oh, sorry. Dot len. Why is it different? Oh, hang on. 13 and 14. Okay. Because I'm guessing this is. Can I just do that? Because, yeah, it's because it's 14, 13. It's manually null terminated. Why is it still 13? Oh. What I don't get is, why is it still not equal? Oh, I guess I can't do that. Because it's not equal. The length just increased. Yeah. Flash X. Is that how you add it now? Okay, there we go. We've got a compositor. Finally. Okay, that works. Okay, so now what do I do? Get XDG service. Okay, Jack, I'm gonna take the W here. It took a while, but I think I've set myself up for success. I mean, you were really helpful. Thank you so much. That was very, very kind of you. Generous of you. Yeah, and I think the broken pipe is because I think one of two reasons. Like, I wasn't binding any of the objects. And oh, well, and I don't know what else. Yeah, I think it's a W. I'll take it. But it was good because we're making some progress. I mean, I think just understanding the bind ID. There is information, but it's like scattered in so many places. It's crazy. Like you read about new ID here, protocol here, and then some things here. But I guess this is loosely based on the documentation, so it's not too bad. I think I want to note that down as well. Find ID. Or is it in the request? Sorry, bind request. I'll copy this. I am bound to forget that. Okay, so we have a surface. We've sorted out all the ID problems. We are able to bind to things. And I think tomorrow we should have a window. It's only about 500 lines. We still don't have a window. But okay, I'm gonna call it a day there. Thanks a lot, Jack. You were really helpful. I think you saved me a lot of time and a lot of hassle. All right, hope you have a good one. I'll see you back here tomorrow. Yeah, that's it. See you later, Jack.